Imagine waking up one morning and realizing that over 5,000 European banks are quietly positioning themselves to integrate the same digital asset you hold in your hands right now. Imagine discovering that, behind the scenes, financial institutions across entire continents are testing real-time blockchain settlement using the technology you have been researching and believing in for years. Now imagine the moment XRP finally experiences the price movement many investors anticipate, and the overwhelming truth hits you that the most important part of your journey is not the breakout itself, but what comes after. This is the conversation almost no one in the crypto world is having, yet it may be the most important conversation we ever have. Welcome back, and I genuinely hope you are having a powerful and productive day. Today's discussion is one I believe investors must have, especially those who have dedicated years to studying Ripple, XRP, digital assets, and the future of global settlement. I recently came across new information that paints a very clear picture of how deeply XRP is beginning to penetrate traditional finance. But this video goes far beyond price speculation. Today, we are talking about what you should be preparing for after XRP appreciates in value. Most people focus on the climb and forget to prepare for the responsibility that comes with success. This video aims to shift that mindset. Let's dive in. A groundbreaking proof of concept has emerged from Europe, and it is already redefining how banks could settle payments in the near future. This development showcases real-time euro settlements executed directly on blockchain technology, leveraging the Interledger Protocol and the XRP ledger. What makes this remarkable is that the system connects regulated banking infrastructure to digital asset liquidity without requiring major changes to existing payment systems. SEPA, the Single Euro Payments Area, stretches across 36 jurisdictions, covering the European Union, the United Kingdom, Switzerland, Norway, and several microstates. Collectively, it brings more than 5,000 banks into the same ecosystem through a unified settlement framework. The implication is simple but profound. Thousands of banks can gain indirect exposure to XRP's liquidity without having to rewrite their own systems. They can plug in, test, and eventually scale. This is not a hypothetical future. This is happening right now. The reason this is happening is because banks are not driven by hype, trends, or speculation. Banks move toward whatever increases efficiency, reduces cost, improves security, and ensures regulatory compliance. XRP has proven itself capable of delivering near-instant settlement, extremely low fees, liquidity bridging, and transparent ledger-based movement of value. Ripple's acquisitions, including major treasury management companies like G-Treasury, are strategic moves that expand their global reach far beyond what most investors realize. When banks begin experimenting with settlement infrastructure built on the XRP ledger, it signals a shift not in opinion, but in decision-making. The institutions want in because the technology solves a real problem that traditional rails have struggled with for decades. This is the moment where digital assets stop being a speculative idea and become foundational infrastructure. Now we need to shift into a conversation that most investors completely ignore. We spend so much time talking about when XRP might move, how high it might go, what catalyst might set things off, and how close regulation might be. Yet hardly anyone stops to ask what comes next. What happens after the surge? What happens after the appreciation? What happens after the years of waiting finally turn into a moment of reality? The truth is that gains mean nothing without a plan. Many people lose generational wealth because they never prepared for prosperity. They prepared for the climb, but not for the arrival. Today, the goal is to think beyond the price action and step into a mindset where wealth becomes a tool, not a temptation. Once you reach the price point you always hoped for, your decisions will determine whether your gains create long-term freedom or fade away with emotional choices. One of the first principles to consider is avoiding the urge to sell everything at once. Emotional exits are the quiet destroyers of long-term wealth. With patience, There are opportunities to earn yield on your holdings in secure and sustainable environments. From there, diversification becomes essential. Allocating gains into long-term, stable assets such as dividend-paying stocks, index funds, real estate, or precious metals allows you to turn momentum into lasting security. Many people never think about this until the moment has already passed. Preparing now puts you ahead of the crowd. Thinking about the life you want to build, beyond material desires, creates a foundation that money alone cannot provide. Wealth becomes meaningful when it supports stability, purpose, and future growth. If you have spent years believing in the future of XRP, then preparation is no longer optional. It is essential. When a major asset moves, it does more than change your portfolio. It changes your psychology, your responsibility, and your perspective. Some investors freeze at the moment they should act. Others move too quickly and regret the decisions later. The best strategies are built before the moment arrives, not after. Your plan should reflect the life you want, the family you want to support, and the legacy you want to build. Crypto can be emotional, but wealth requires discipline. By preparing today, you strengthen yourself for the opportunities and challenges that come with financial elevation. So here is the question that matters most, and I want you to truly reflect on it. If XRP reached your dream price today, what is the first purpose-driven action you would take? Not the first thing you would buy, but the first meaningful step you would take as someone who has finally achieved financial breathing room. Your answer might start a conversation someone else deeply needs to hear. If you want more content that explores markets, wealth, strategy, and deeper purpose-driven financial thinking, make sure you stay connected. The road ahead is bigger than charts, and the journey becomes clearer when we walk through it with intention and awareness. The future we are preparing for is not built on hype but on understanding, preparation, and clarity.